Hey everyone, thanks for joining us over here inside of the Pro and Max breakout. So if your edition of Keap is Pro or Max, you're in the right space. If you have Max Classic, then you can just jump over to the other session with Mike in his stage there. The way to know if you have Pro or Max Classic is where your menu is located. If your menu is located on the left side, then you can say, you know what, I got confidence here. I know I'm in Pro or Max, which is perfect. If your menu is at the top, that means you're probably in Max Classic and you want to switch over to the other room. I'm really excited that you guys are here with us today. I want to do kind of a quick recap of what we talked about yesterday when it comes to why automation is so important and its place inside of really just enhancing our customer journey. We talked yesterday about lifecycle automation and how we need to collect our leads and those efforts that we go through to collect so that we can then turn around and convert them over to clients. And once we got those clients, we need to then make raving fans out of them. And today we will build an automation for each one of these stages. Now, we'll be using some of the features inside of Keap to help us to make that happen. That's how Keap really is the vehicle or the tool that will help you to be able to realize all three of these areas of lifecycle automation. So let's talk about our peaks again, our mountains, our milestones, the areas that we want to get to. Yesterday, we did some prep work to get us ready for today's session. We created a public form so that people can give us their information and opt in. We created a checkout form so that people can buy from us online and make it really easy and scalable. And we created a link so that somebody can schedule with us once we get on board and they say, yes, I've paid you. Let's go ahead and start working together. And so this mountain here these mountains represent each of those milestones. Now we could do this manually where someone climbs all the way down the mountain, goes to the very bottom, and then looks up and tries to climb all the way up. We find is that only the most ardent make that climb. There are many that just sit at the bottom and don't move past that point. And that's where the automation is going to come in today. The automation is that bridge, that thing that links all of these milestones together to make sure that this is an extremely smooth process for our contacts. And so let's talk about your guys's experience today. There's going to be two ways that people will participate today, and either one is fine. Some of you might be here and you think, you know what, I've got one screen. I'm not quite as comfortable as I want to be yet. I'm just going to focus in and watch and learn. That's perfectly fine. Watch and learn. We're recording today. We'll have the replays available for you probably tomorrow, so you can watch and learn. That's perfectly cool. The other way that you might want to engage today, though, is to say, you know what? I've got two screens. I can put these things side by side, or I'm really good at alt-tabbing, and I want to build along with Grady. I want to see what he's building and then make it too. And if you want to do that, perfectly awesome. We love that because you can walk away today with a campaign published or at least really close with just a few action items to get it up and running. Either way, again, is perfectly fine. So if you find yourself falling behind and you're not quite, up to where we're at, give yourself permission to just, step back a little bit and just watch and learn. That's okay. We don't expect everyone to get those things done today, but for those who are moving along and feel comfortable, awesome. Yeah, make it work. All right, let's talk a little bit more about our first automation we want to create. We want to be able to collect leads. We need a way for people to get into our automation. So if I go over here to our first step here, being able to see these leads inside of Keap become a reality. I'm going to go ahead and switch the view here. There we go. Awesome. So our problem that we're trying to solve is that we've got leads that we are trying to capture. And so we're going to be offering a lead magnet to be able to get them to opt in. So we'll have a goal here that has them opt in. And once that happens, we want to make sure that we are following up. So we will deliver that guide that they request. Yesterday, we made that public form. That's the indoor growing guide that we created together, the web form for it, or public form, I should say more accurately. So we'll deliver it. And once someone clicks and delivers it, then we'll have a goal here at the end that stops automation. So if they open email number 1 and click, boom, they won't get email 2 or 3. Maybe they're hanging out and don't open email number 1. Well, they get number 2 and they click, boom, stops the automation. And if they get to number 3 and they click, still stops the automation, but we might not have anything else in there to automate. Either way, that's how we'll design this. And to help me put this together, I invited Jillian Kendrick to come and join me. Jillian is one of our Keap certified partners. Jillian, how are you doing today?
Hey, Grady, I'm really good. Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Just so you guys know, kind of by way of history, is that Jillian and I have worked together on projects off and on for the past few years. And I've just known her to be somebody that knows the ins and outs of the customer journey and knows the ins and outs of Keap to be able to put strong automation that's still simple and accessible to help customers move through that journey. I know that she's got a lot of expertise on just lead magnet creation too, Jillian. So I'm super happy you're here to help with that.
Yay, thank you so much. Yeah, I actually had the pleasure of speaking at SuccessCon and at our certified partner event, PartnerCon, a couple of times on lead magnets as well. And I'm so excited to be here with you guys. I see all your comments and beautiful faces. I love this energy.
Also, I'm going to slip away here and I'll let you.
Okay. All right, you guys, I'm on. All right. Grady, you might have to jump back in and tell me how to share. Oh, and never mind. I know how to share screen. All right. I'm a newbie to all of this stuff. All right, here we go.
Yeah, this is a brand new platform we're using for this event. We're still learning as we go.
Thanks, everybody, for your patience. You're all awesome. Okay, so let's talk for just a quick second about lead magnets. I know Michael and Grady said you guys had a couple of questions about lead magnets yesterday. A lot of people might know what a lead magnet is. A few people might not, but let me just give you some really, really quick strategies that you can use when it comes to lead magnets. So a lead magnet, think of magnet, magnetize, right? You want something that draws people to your business. So, because here's the deal. Like when I walk into a grocery store, I'm going to that place to buy something. Or if you're like me, you go to buy one thing and then you leave with like a whole shopping cart full of stuff. But not everybody is going to come to your business immediately ready to buy or to hand down some cash, right? They're just not. Like that's the reality of doing business. And so for those people that aren't quite ready to lay down their credit cards, they're not quite ready to buy yet, we want to give them something to begin to build that relationship and begin to build some reciprocity. And like I said, build that relationship. So how do you do that? Well, we give them a lead magnet, and a lead magnet can look like 1,000 different things, you guys, and it just depends on your business. We'll use like the consulting, the Keap growing business as the example, but for anybody else out there, like a coupon can be a great lead magnet that brings somebody into your business or your restaurant or your grocery store. A video can be a great lead magnet. A PDF can be a great lead magnet. A white paper, although again, if you're me, I don't know, I'm a mama, I have a 2-year-old. I don't have a lot of time to read a white paper, but they look great and they give you a lot of authority. A free book, an ebook, a guide, like a 3-part video series. There's a million different examples of lead magnets that you guys can use inside of your business. If you're not such a fan of writing, or if you're like me, you got a 2-year-old, you don't have a lot of time to write, you can totally record like a voiceover, or you can do like a quick Zoom video of you talking that thing out, then go to Fiverr or go to like a transcription service and get that thing transcribed if you're more of like a talker than you are a writer like I am. And then that will give you the foundation of how you can build out your lead magnet. A lead magnet can be as simple as here's a 1-sheet paper of like the strategies that I have, or what is it going to look like when we work together? I'm going to break that down for you. Or here's my methodology of how I do business or the success that I've had, or even like a quick video series, like I said, just depending on if you're comfortable writing, or if you're comfortable talking, if you're comfortable being in front of video, whatever it is, as fast as you can do it, as easy as you can do it. Get that lead magnet if you don't have one, because I promise you there are people coming to your website, people going to your business, even if you're not a brick and mortar, who are interested, that want to do business with you, but they're just not quite ready to lay down those dollars, and you don't want to miss out on potential future business, which is why we follow up, which is why we have a lead magnet, which is why we use Keap to build those relationships and keep those intact. So there's my 4-minute pitch on having a lead magnet. Make it as simple, as easy as possible. And if you're worried about like, okay, I've given you too many ideas, what kind of lead magnet should I do? Here's the reality. As a business coach, I can't honestly tell you what kind of a lead magnet you need. What you need is literally any lead magnet. Get it up, get it running, get it into the market, and then let the market tell you whether or not they want it. And once you have that data, because until you're sending it out, until you're letting people have that experience and build that reciprocity with you, you have nothing, and you don't have any data to actually like do something with, right? You guys, I'm trying to follow the chat. Hi guys. Hi, Lisa. Until you have that data, you don't know what to do or how to pivot. So get something, get anything, get version 1.0 out there, and then your clients, your customers will tell you whether it's working for them or not. So just get something up there as fast and as easy as you can do it for yourself. So there's my soapbox pitch on lead magnets. Now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we are actually going to walk through building this thing. Grady, if you see any super juicy questions, please feel free to stop me or chime in, because I'm just going to keep rolling. So share screen. Share screen number 1. System audio. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to move that over here. That's mine. Here we are. All right, you guys, we're all familiar with Keap Pro and Keap Max. This is what your screen looks like when you log in. You go to the dashboard, and what we're going to do to build our lead magnet campaign is we're going to click over here on the left-hand navigation. We're going to click on automation, and there are some easy automations that you can do, but for this particular example, we're going to build inside of advanced automation. So go ahead and click that. And like Grady said, maybe you guys can do like a half screen kind of thing, or if you can jump back and forth, or if you have like the dual screen like I do, whatever you need to get it done. Or the recordings will be available sometime relatively soon, and you guys can always go back and look at those recordings again. I'm going to move pretty fast, but don't worry. Like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. So if you don't already have a lead magnet campaign or another campaign ready, I'm going to click on this one just because I've started a little bit for you guys already. But you can just click this plus button and then go to advanced automation, and it's going to open up a whole new campaign for you guys. And then what I did was I titled it Lead Magnet Delivery. Now, if you already have a lead magnet and it has a title like our Keep Growing ebook, you might want to title it Keep Growing ebook - lead magnet delivery. Just be, specific and have some kind of a good naming convention for yourself so that you know what that campaign is when you go back to it. And just like Grady was showing us, we're going to drag and drop. Don't do it yet for my A+ students over here. Don't do it yet, but we're going to get a web form submitted goal. You could also use a landing page too, but we're going to do a web form submitted goal just to keep it super, super simple. Then we're going to drag and drop a sequence, and that's going to be our 3 emails. And then we're going to use a link click goal. Again, super duper simple, real quick for you guys. You're all beautiful, amazing Keap experts already, but let's just break this down. The goals, what's up?
I was going to say, one thing I think it would be great to call out is that there are two forms on the canvas. There's a web form goal and a form goal. And yesterday we made a form, like a public form that we'll use today. But would you mind just talking a little bit more about what those are and why one would have a benefit versus the other?
Yeah, totally. Let me make sure that I'm not speaking out of turn first. Hang on. Here we go. So a form submission can either be an internal form or a public form. An internal form means that only if you or someone else, like someone on your team, has access to your Keap app, like they can log into Keap and see the dashboard and everything, only then can you submit these internal forms, which can then kick off additional information. And then public, obviously, is like anything public facing. Anyone who has access on the internet and comes across your link can go ahead and see this thing. Whereas a web form submitted is going to give you like the whole, this is also technically a public form, but it's going to give you the whole breakdown of like, here's the design of the form, and we're going to do the thank you page and the settings, and then you can generate the code or the hosted version of that form to be able to get it up online. Grady, did that answer? Do you want to chime in with anything else? It's been a minute.
That's great. Okay. And the thing I like about web forms is that you can do some HTML coding. So like if you are like super ninja and you can do HTML coding, which I can't, you can make your forms look pretty trick. But I love the forms submitted in the public forms because it's something that you can do very fast to get your form up on your website.
That's right. I totally forgot we have this amazing builder in here now. And we can create, we actually have this one already, right? The indoor growing guide. Yeah, let's use this one because Grady's awesome. And this is all drag and drop too, you guys. This is super, super fun. So this is the name of the guide that we're going to be sending out. This is the headline, right? And you can kind of see here the form name. The form name is like an internal thing. The headline, get our indoor plants growing guide and stop killing your plants. I love that. It's so funny. I killed my lemon tree. Michael said he killed an avocado. I killed a lemon tree. It was very sad. And then the button, the text button, start growing. That's really cute. So you can kind of see, and what's great about this builder too is like you can see once you change something here, it's going to update it there, and you can just kind of toggle back and forth, so to speak, between, you know, like the live view, and it makes it a whole lot easier to just kind of drag and drop. So at minimum, when it comes to people filling out your form for your opt-in or your lead magnet, you definitely want to have first name at bare minimum, and you want to have email address at bare minimum. The other things, last name, phone number, plant expertise, I love that. Those are nice. Those are nice to haves. They're not necessarily need to haves, right? So for somebody to give up their phone number, you're like, that's asking a lot. And last name isn't that important, I suppose. But you just want to make sure that you're asking the bare minimum of the information that you absolutely have to have or need while you're starting to build that reciprocity and you're starting to build this relationship, right? Think about it in terms of a relationship. Like if I came up to you off the side of the street and was like, hey, will you marry me? You'd be like, no, you're a weirdo. Don't ever talk to me again. But if I came up to you and said, hey, it looks like you could use some help with your plants. I have this great lead magnet. Give me your name and email address. And you might be like, oh, okay, cool. So just consider the amount of information that you're asking for at the stage of the relationship that you're asking for it. So go ahead, if you guys don't have it already. We're going to add a field, and we're going to add in first name. and then add a field. And it's super easy. You just select the fields that are available. And I think, Grady, correct me if I'm wrong, but once you select a field from here and it goes up on the form, it actually disappears from this this drop down. So you're not like duplicating and adding the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, that way it keeps it organized. And this one here, we kind of put everything I think that we probably would need for a good form. And we built this one yesterday. One of the things that people were saying was that they're having trouble keeping up. If that's the case, I would say like you are probably self-identifying by saying that as someone who probably would get more value out of this session by watching and learning. Take notes of action items of things that maybe you want to go back and learn more about or take a deeper dive on or just watch again. That's why we're recording. We want to make sure that you've got that resource, but at the same time, we want to make sure we get done. In this session here, we have about 38 minutes left. And so we want to make sure we have time to complete the automation today, not just take one really slow step by step, but get you to the point where you can have them up and running and then use the replay to fill in any gaps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
But this one's probably good to go. So if you want, you can just exit and then make sure we just select this form and we're good to go.
Super. What's cool too is once you get to this stage, you can style your form. So if you want your button, to be green because we're a plant company rather than blue or something else like that, you can absolutely go ahead and do that, which is really cool. Next. And we're not going to create any follow-ups here. We're going to go ahead and create those follow-ups inside of the campaign builder. So once we get to this page, and what's great too, you guys, we're going to grab the hosted version of this form. So if you don't have a website or if you're like Grady and you don't know how to code or do anything like that, you can actually just use Keap to host this form. So whether you're running ads to this form or whether this form, you have a button on your website that hyperlinks and clicks to this form, Keap will host this form for you. So if you're not a coder, you don't have to worry about where does it go or what does the code look like or do I have to hire a programmer to get this done? So I'm going to go ahead and hit save and exit, and we're going to go back to our automation over here. So we have our lead magnet delivery, finish setup. And then once our form gets submitted, and I'm going to go ahead and change this. So this is the growing guide. And what I love to do, because I like to make my life as easy as possible, being a mama, being a business owner, I need life to be a little bit easy. I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop a note down here on the very bottom of the campaign tools. And I'm going to paste in that hosted URL that we had here. So that way, if I ever need it, if I forget what the URL is or whatever, I can always come back to this campaign and just grab it really easily rather than having to go into the campaign, click into the guide, go through all the steps, save the thing, yada, 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 and then it gives me that URL. I'm just going to paste it here inside of a note so that I have it and I know exactly where it is when I need it. Cool? Is everybody good? The form, Wendy, the form hosting costs absolutely nothing. It's just part of what you get with your monthly subscription to Keap. Leroy asked, what is the difference between making those automations in the campaign builder and within the form creation section? Leroy, I'm not 100% sure what you mean. If you want to just reword that for me, I'll be happy to answer. And what happened to the web form submitted? Oh, this web form submitted, I changed that name. So if you have your web form and you double click on the wording, I just called it the growing guide so that it's really, really clear. I know exactly what that thing is and what they're opting in for. Patrick. All right. Thanks, Kathy. None of the icons on the left are working for Loretta. Loretta, you might have to log out, log back in, clear cache, something like that, or maybe one of our Keap experts can try to help you out with that. Next, you guys, we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab a sequence here on the very top left of our campaign tools. So we're just going to click and drag it over. And then we need to connect these pieces, right? So what's going to happen is we have to actually tell the system when someone submits this form, do this action next, right? And if these pieces aren't connected, that's not going to happen. So we want to just drag that little green arrow into our untitled sequence here, and then that's going to tell the campaign builder anytime someone fills out this form, the next step is going to be go into this sequence, right? So as soon as they achieve this goal or they fill out that form, they're going to go ahead and move ahead. Magnus, you can absolutely add other pictures besides your company logo if you want. Like if you have, a product image, or if you want like a cool book image of the lead magnet itself, you can do that as well. Great question. Really, really good question. And then, like I said, you can brand it and design it with like the button colors and all of that other stuff. Okay. So under our untitled sequence, I'm going to double click on the words untitled sequence, because again, I like visually being able to come into a campaign and see, okay, first they get the growing guide, and then we're going to deliver the growing guide and like a 2 email follow-up or something like that, right? And again, this is just for me. I like to see things this way. I like to look at the campaign and know in detail what every single step is. It's not necessary for right this second, but I like to have that. Okay. Yeah, naming everything is so essential. That way it just keeps it all in the right place. And we're going to go ahead and drag one more piece before we build out our emails. So on our campaign tools, underneath goals, on the third column, second row, you're going to see the email link clicked with this little arrow. You're going to go ahead and drag and drop that to the right of our sequence. And then again, we're going to connect them because we have to tell the system, when this happens, do this. After this is done, do that. And here's the thing about goals, you guys. When it comes to really the way that goals function, Wendy wants to know, where do we learn how many emails for each section? Wendy, I'm getting to it. Hang on, girlfriend. We're getting there in just a second. Goals really, really quick. So a goal is any action, whether it's manual or automated, that can either start, progress, or stop a campaign. So in this particular case, this is what we're looking at. The growing guide, that form being filled out, that's what starts the campaign. This is what triggers the automation and says, hey, this person opted in or gave us their email address for this thing. We need to go ahead and deliver that to them. Then that contact record, or that person, that email address, is going to come in here inside of this delivery sequence, and they're going to get the emails that Wendy and I are going to set up in just a second for you. And then the end goal, what happens with the end goal is anytime the end goal happens, so let's say we have 3 emails inside of this sequence. If they achieve the goal on email 1, it's going to pull them out of that sequence, and they're never going to get the other 2 emails, right? Because we don't want to follow up with somebody or send them more emails encouraging them to click on our growing guide. If they've already done it, they're going to email us back and be like, hey, I've already opened that thing. I already read through your growing guide, right? So we don't necessarily want that. So this goal is going to pull them out of this sequence when they achieve that goal or when they click that link. And in order to set this up, we actually have to go into our emails now, and we're going to set those up. I'm teaching Grady something. Oh my gosh. I love it. This is awesome. So again, when it comes to the automation, we have to have a start button. The system has to know, here's where we're starting, and this is what I do. This is what you want me to do next, right? So we immediately want to send out that email with our growing guide. And again, just for my own sanity, because I have a baby and I wake up at 2 a.m. and he wants a bottle and the whole thing, I'm going to add a note in here with my link to my ebook, so that if I ever had to change this email, if I ever had to wonder, like, where is that Google Doc in the millions of Google Docs that I have in my drive, it's all going to be right here, easy for me to find. So I love to just drag and drop notes with important information, whether it's links, a date to an event that I'm running, a price of a product I'm selling, whatever it is. I like to have my notes inside of my campaign. That way I don't have to spend years and gray hairs hunting those things down. How do I connect boxes? So Joyce, what boxes are you talking about connecting? These? So what you do, if it's these boxes, all you have to do is hover over the goal and this green arrow will show up, and then you just click on it and you drag it over. That's it. And what's cool inside of the sequence is anytime you actually drag something over, it'll automatically create that connection for you, as long as you're doing it sequentially. So that's super fun. Okay. Excuse me while I mute. So our very first email is going to be our delivery email, and you can call this delivery email. You can call it email number 1, whatever you want. That's totally cool, just as long as you know what's what. And we're going to copy our link to our Google Doc. Yours could be a Google Doc. It could be a video. It could be a PDF. It could be something else. But whatever you got, we're going to add it in. So Grady, did you say we already have templates, or did you want me to write this email?
Yes, I saved you some time, and I wrote the emails for you, which is like a dream that everyone should have someday, to have someone to write their emails for them. But if you go to My Templates,
yeah,
and then we've got email, deliver indoor growing guide email number 1. So it's all done. The only thing we've got to do is we've got to put the link to our guide. That's it. And
awesome.
tag it.
You're the best. I love it when people write my emails. Thank you. So yeah, so Grady just made a really good point that I just want to highlight for you guys real quick. The email builder already comes with these really gorgeous email templates that you can use and customize for yourself and for your business with your branding, your colors, the whole shebang. So if you have that and you want to use those, then awesome. Or if you've already saved email templates, if you've already written those emails, or if you're like me, I have some online content that I sell to different clients, and every new product that I sell, I tend to send out, relatively the same email. So I've just saved it as a template, and I can reuse that over and over and over again. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this template that Grady had already created for us, but we'll just go through it real quick so you guys have it. Really important, inserting the contact first name to personalize that message. You guys, that's so crucial, not only for building the relationship, but when your emails are personalized, it actually helps with deliverability. It helps the email servers and all the robots and stuff know that you intend this email to go to a human being and an individual. So it actually helps a lot with email deliverability for you to name the person that email is going to. Plus, you want to address people by name, and that just helps build the relationship. So in our email, we're going to say, thank you so much for requesting the indoor growing guide. We're excited to share this content with you because this is your ticket on how to keep your plants alive and healthy. Beautiful. So what we did was we call them by name. We give them an acknowledgement of thank you for requesting or thank you for opting in for, and name your thing, name your guide. Diane, the start button will automatically be there inside the sequence every single time. You don't have to drag and drop one of those. When you link to a Google Doc, do you copy the link and paste it in the download link? You can. Yeah, you can. Is there a list of commands to insert information? So excuse me. If we're talking about inserting information into the email, we can go to, where is it? We can go to these different blocks, these different content blocks, and it'll actually, this is where we drag and drop, like if we want a heading, if we want a paragraph text, if you have a video that you're delivering, whatever it is, you can drag and drop these over to here. And then like Grady said, we have to hyperlink our lead magnet. So if you don't have one of those, if you don't have a button yet, go ahead over to content, and we're going to drag and drop this button. I'm not going to do it because it's already in there, but drag and drop this button, and then you can customize the button, right? So if we don't want it to be blue and we want it to be green because we're a plant company, and then we can actually change that color of green. I'm trying to get it to look like the same color green. Can I show you guys a super cool ninja trick? There's this thing called Instant Eyedropper, and you can hover over any color and it'll tell you what the hex color. So I can get that if I don't know what that color green is, I can get that exact green with Instant Eyedropper, and then everything looks beautiful and branded, and it's awesome. But we're hyperlinking, not to show you all my ninja tricks, and then we've gotten off course here. So we're gonna just paste in, grab our URL again. We're gonna paste in our URL onto that button, and it opens a website. That looks great. That looks great. The way that I like to do hyperlinks, especially if I have an image, is I like to hyperlink. Let me see. Oh, I can do it here. Okay, perfect. I like to hyperlink the button and I hyperlink the image both, so that if somebody clicks on one or the other, they go to the same place. It's just kind of like a human nature sort of thing that I like to do. So they have that there. So once you drag and drop your button, hyperlink your button, and you can drag and drop if you have like a header image or an image of the PDF, maybe like a book or audio, or like I said, even if you're doing a video, we have the video option for you too, and you just paste in your YouTube URL. It's super easy and simple. And then at the bottom of the email, we would drag and drop a quick paragraph or some text and say, all right, now that you have your guide, here's what we suggest. Take a few minutes today or tomorrow to unplug, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, and go through the guide. Once you've done that, feel free to contact me, or this would be a great place to have your next call to action, right? You've gotten their attention, they've opened the email, they've clicked the thing. And what do they do next, right? What are they going to do after they read through your guide? Well, maybe they book a call with you. Maybe you want them to call your business directly. Maybe you want them to email you, whatever it is. Someone says, how do you get to the tools on the right? Great question. So I'm just going to minimize or hide this content specific to this block. And then I'm going to go ahead and open up content right here, or there's blocks, body, images, all that stuff. Yeah, just click on the box. Oh, thank you, Magnus. Thank you, David. How do you link to a Google document? Good question. So inside of Google Docs, you should just be able to grab this hyperlink itself. Sometimes it'll say view, sometimes it'll say edit or something like that, you should just be able to grab, this hyperlink itself, or even go to share, and it should give you, copy link. You should be able to do it that way. And then that'll give you the link to your Google Doc. Cool. Great questions, you guys. You guys are rock stars. You're awesome. Now, and then Grady has a PS. This is great. Okay, so PS, if you have any questions at any time, don't hesitate to reach out by replying to this message or replying to this email directly. I love including that. It's so easy for people to receive emails or receive marketing emails and just kind of think like, oh, there's not a human behind that. Well, there is. That's what being a small business owner means. That's why you guys are in business, is to serve and take care of your customers. I love that reminder. That's really great copywriting. Okay, so now that we've hyperlinked everything, now that we've got this, we're good, we've got it, we're going to hit next, and we're going to add the details of our email. So this can either come from the contact's owner, or if you need it to come from like a specific email address or a specific user, like a Keap user. So let's say, Grady and Michael both own this Keep Growing company. Well, maybe they want one of those emails to come from Grady and the other email to come from Michael for any specific reason. Or maybe it's coming from a secretary, or maybe it's coming from, the science department, or maybe it's coming from the grower, just whatever that might look like. You can change who the email comes from, and then we can specify which email address this email is going to go to. For a lot of you, it's just going to be the work email or personal email. Most of you, honestly, like even in my list, I try to stick with one email address. I try really hard not to ask them like, what's your work email? What's your personal email? What's your dog's email address? It doesn't matter. One email address, whatever the best one is for them, you're going to choose that one. And then the subject line, we want to write something that is catchy and gets them to open this email, because, every time you look at your inbox, I look at my inbox, it's full. It's flooded with stuff. How can we write a subject line that's going to encourage them to go ahead and open this email? So what I love to do is adding in like their name with a merge field. So we could do merge field, first name, here's your guide, or the guide you requested, something like that. Because when they see their first name, it's just a lot more personal. And then preview text, if you've ever used, Gmail, or you've ever looked at an email, you kind of see like the first sentence or so. If you want some preview text, you can add that. I honestly don't tend to add preview text to my emails. It's just already there. But you can, if you wanted to, add something like that. I'm going to mark this from draft to ready, which is super, super important, you guys. If you don't mark your stuff ready and then publish it, when you go to publish that campaign or make it live, it's not going to be there because you haven't told the system that you're ready for it. So there's that email. Grady, how much time do we have? Have I gone too far? I don't know.
So we've got about 15 minutes.
All right. We're going to rush through these other ones, you guys, just to get it done. But you can always go back and watch the replay. So a couple of questions. How do you get to the PS after the signature block? Good question. So you would just, again, drag and drop some text. So you have this, you drag and drop the signature block, right? And then you would grab some text and just throw it right there. And we're going to remove that. Cool? Super simple. So now there's my delivery email. And then I want to wait a day, right? I want to give them a day, maybe even 2 days to consume the content, to have an opportunity to read through my guide. And if they don't do it, right, if they don't click that link goal, then I want to follow up with them again. And maybe you want it to be any day, a specific day of the week. Maybe plant lovers only open their emails on the weekends. I have no idea, but whatever time you think is best, go ahead and choose that specific day. Any time or a specific time of day that you want it sent out. I personally find that if I send my emails around like 10 a.m., 11 a.m., they tend to get opened a lot more than emails that go out at like 7, 8 a.m., like first thing in the morning. Kat asks, does it turn a color when it is ready? Ooh, great question, Kat. So yes, look at the coloration difference and the styling difference between our timer that is not ready, not set up, and this email and the start button. See how the email and the start button have like those green colored lines through them, and our timer is totally gray. When our timer is ready and we hit save, it changes from that gray color to that like stripy green color. And then once we actually go and publish, they all will be solid green. So really, really good question. Leroy asks, why is the between option grayed out? Anything like this, Leroy, that's grayed out just means it's not marked as ready or it's not published yet. That's all. So let's say we're going to wait 2 days, 3 days, 1 day, entirely up to you. And we're going to drag and drop another email that Grady already has set up for us, right? So this is email number 2. And I'm just going to do this one real quick, and then I'm going to show you guys that link click goal. Here's our email number 2. Again, contact first name. If you found yourself thinking, my workplace seems so sterile, so boring, then you need plants. And here's my guide. So we're going to grab our link again here. We're going to...
And I saved you the trouble. I already linked it all and tagged it. Yeah, because at this point now we're just rinsing and repeating. Like the important was the first email to talk about Email Builder, but we got it now.
Done. All right. Well, then I'm out of here. I might need to mark this as ready in order for the link click goal to register that one is available. So let's do that super, super quick. Something like that. Mark is ready. We're done. Beautiful. Now we're going to go back here to our link click goal. So remember, we said that the end goal will pull them out of that sequence when they achieve the goal. So if they click on email number 1, they'll never get email number 2. If they click on email number 2, they'll get emails number 1 and 2. They'll never get email number 3, and so on. And you can follow up. You could put 1,000 emails in here if you really wanted to. And depending on which email they click on, they'll never get the rest of them if they achieve that goal. So we're just going to double click on to configure our goal. And you can see that the emails that we have marked as ready, the emails that are set up inside of our sequence, are both right here for us to we have to define which link click equates to that goal being achieved. So that's just a really fancy way of saying, like, we have to tell the system when this specific link is clicked, then achieve that goal. Let's say, this is a bit too much, but let's say we wanted one link click goal if they clicked on the button and a different link click goal if they clicked on the image. Well, we could actually do that and define it separately if we really wanted to. But in this case, we don't really care. We just want them to click on something. So we're going to choose these two because we hyperlinked both the button and the image. And then the same thing. We don't have this image hyperlinked, but you guys are brilliant. You get the idea. So now we have defined for the system when this link gets clicked, that goal gets achieved. And as always, we're going to mark our stuff as ready because if we don't, it doesn't show up as green and then we can't publish. Wah, wah. Now, And like we said, we can add more emails to this. I didn't mark either of these things as ready, but I think you guys have got it. Let's see what we have. All right. Do we want to change up each email? So Melinda, yeah, you definitely want to change up each email. They don't have to be drastically different, right? You don't have to like write War and Peace 3 or 4 or 5 different times, but you want them to be a little bit different. Because consider it this way. You're building reciprocity, you're building trust, you're building a relationship with the person that you're emailing. And if they're getting the same email over and over again from you, you're not giving them any new information. And the emails that you're sending out are encouraging them to take the next action that you want them to take. Really strategically, from a strategic standpoint, you guys, your emails should be written from the perspective of like, why haven't they done it yet, right? Like, what's their objection to taking that next action? What's their objection or their excuse to not having read your guide yet? Oh, you don't have time. Oh, we don't, you get really busy. You get caught up in the weeds of your business. Well, I can help you with the weeds of your plants. I don't know, something like that. But your emails need to be written from the perspective of overcoming their objections or overcoming their excuses of why they haven't taken that next step or done that next action that you want them to take. So yes, your emails every single time should be even just a little bit different for sure. David asks, what is the difference between new email and email? Amazing question, David. And some of you might see this and might not see this depending on when you got into Keap and which version of the app you have. But this is the brand new, gorgeous, amazing, super awesome, fantastic, cool, new kids email builder. And then email message is the existing, also pretty awesome and pretty cool, snazzy email builder. But this is just the new one, is just the new email builder. Good question. How do you hyperlink an image? Kat wants to know. Let's go back here and I'll show you super quick. So you click on the image itself, and when you click on this block or this cell, it gives you the ability to customize that. So if you just scroll down under action, hello, the image link, you're gonna put your URL right there. Good question, Kat. Beth wants to know, do I include my lead magnet in each email or just the first? Well, Beth, I would include it in every single email, because the emails that you're sending to follow up with them is, hey, I know through my automation that you haven't opened this guide yet, right? Like the goal is when they click the link, meaning they click it and they've presumably read it, when they click the link, stop sending them, right? Stop sending those emails, pull them out of the automation. So if they haven't achieved this goal yet, then they haven't clicked the link. And if they haven't clicked the link, then they haven't even given themselves the opportunity to read your guide. So yes, you want to include that link in every single one of your emails. And it's not a bad idea to throw some kind of a call to action in the footer of like all of your newsletters, put it in your email signature. It's a great idea. If you have a podcast, mention it on your podcast when you're opening. Absolutely. Second email serves as follow-up or an update. The second email serves as, hey, I know that you haven't clicked on this thing, so here's a little bit of a nudge for you to click on it. It serves as a follow-up. Good question. Is the second email if they haven't opened the first? It's not. So the second email is if they haven't achieved our end goal, right? If they haven't clicked. So whether or not they've opened the email, that's like a whole nother goal. And do we even still have that email open goal? I don't even remember. But the second email serves the purpose of, hey, you haven't clicked yet. You haven't achieved this goal. You haven't read my guide. It's time to do that because I can't help you, right? Like I can't help you. I can't make your life better, your business better, your plants better until you've read my guide. So great question. Jim, you can totally add a task. Yeah. So for my Ninja A+ students, let's say you've gone through, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 follow-up emails and they still haven't taken the action that you want them to take. You can totally come in here and throw in a task for yourself that just says, hey, Jim, Sally such and such didn't ever read your guide. Why don't you email her, or why don't you call her or text her, something like that. You can totally do that. David says, can you load up a picture or do you need to load it from a URL link? Oh, good question, David. So you can do both, which is really great. So let's say your image is like a larger image and you need it to be hosted somewhere on your website, Amazon S3. If you have a file storage, something or another, you can totally do that. Or, so that would be here. If you have your image stored on like a separate storage place, you can put it here. Or if you want to actually upload an image, let's see, I'm just gonna do this to show you. You can click this button. Oh, it was literally right in front of me. You guys, right in front of me. You can click upload image, and then there's my headshots. You can go to all of the images you have on your computer or another place to upload an image, or drag and drop it right here, which is super fun. How do you resize an image? Amazing question. So you can just use this little button right here to change the width. Lisa asks, how do you stop a sequence? Highlight the link or highlight the link. You actually highlight the link inside of an email if you're using if you're specifically using this email link clicked goal. You'll have these blue buttons here for you to select the links. And look, it looks at all links, not just the ones that we set up, but even the Keap link in Grady's email signature shows up as a link. And then depending on which one you configure, you tell the system, hey, when they click this link, it's going to achieve that goal. Cool.
Yeah. And I like the questions you guys are asking are so cool, because they're leading into the next things. Like, we're not done yet with automation today. We've got 2 more automations to build. In fact, Jillian, I could tell that like there was a part of you that was like dying inside, because you were like, this can't be the end of this automation. I have to do more with this. I can't just stop at the link click. Right. We will build on to this after our break today. Don't worry. So yes, that's the whole beauty of lifecycle automation, is being able to segment your journey. But definitely you want to make sure that we're putting something in there to say, okay, we've captured the lead. How do we convert this person into a client? How do we engage with them? And so after the break, we're going to work on that piece next. But we want to give you guys a break for yourself. And so we're going to take 30 minutes. This is kind of, I call it a working break. If you want to go grab lunch, go stretch your legs, go see the sunshine, do it. You can also work on stuff. If you want to, build out some pieces that you saw today, and do some of that work inside the application, perfect. Some of us will step away, but some of us will be in here in the room still, in the chat, answering chat questions. And so you've got that ability still to be able to get that help that you need. Jillian, thank you so much for joining us today and helping us to be able to build out our lead capture process.
Yeah, thanks guys. This was so much fun.
All right, we'll see you guys in 30 minutes.